Hi, I'm Ross Barry and welcome to Friday 5 at 5, April 17, 2020. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority has confirmed that the search for a man lost overboard from the bulk carrier MV Western Marine has been suspended. The search for the man, a Korean national, was conducted for most of Wednesday over an area of 130 square kilometres off the coast of Berkeley Vale. The ship is now docked in Newcastle Port. And in big news this week, East Group, the owner of Sydney Roosters, has announced that the Woy Woy Leagues Club will close its doors permanently. The club was temporarily closed due to the COVID-19 restrictions, but the East Group confirmed earlier this week the closure would now be made permanent. East Sports Director Brian Samphia said it was with a very heavy heart the group made the decision. He said the club had struggled financially since it formed a joint venture with the East Group in 2012, and that a proposal by the group to develop the site was rejected by the state government independent planning panel. Samphia said East was committed to helping its near 4,000 members find a new home on the peninsula. The East Group have also been a key financial sponsor for the Woy Woy Rugby League playing group, and Samphia said that they were committed to a grant of $20,000 a year for the development of the juniors. Authorities appear to have been largely successful in slowing the spread of COVID-19 on the Central Coast. Earlier this week, local district health confirmed that the number of cases here on the Central Coast was 117, of which 88 people have now recovered. And notwithstanding the slowdown in new infections, the New South Wales Shadow Minister for Health, Ryan Park, has called on the New South Wales Government to expand testing for COVID-19 here on the coast. David Abrahams has more on that.
Yes, Ross, Ryan Park said the Central Coast, which was the fifth highest concentration of confirmed cases in New South Wales, has been labelled a virus hotspot by the Queensland Government, who were therefore forcing anyone returning from the Central Coast to self-isolate for 14 days. Terrigal MP Adam Crouch weighed in on the discussion this week, saying the criteria for testing had been relaxed and allow more people to go to be tested at their discretion. Now, we were down on the peninsula this week and spoke with several local businesses about the current environment. We asked Chris Perkins, who runs Halado Cafe, specifically about the JobKeeper package, and this is what he had to say.
We've had so far is that we need to find the funds in advance to pay the staff. So if we do come on board with the scheme, that means we need to find $3,000 per employee per month to keep that going and to access the funds, which the ATO will then refund to us afterwards. But I feel like there's a lot of small businesses that are in the position where we really don't have $3,000 per employee per month, and we don't have any access to that. Especially we have a business that is still running, where it's running at a lot lower capacity, but there's a lot of businesses that are fully closed down, and I don't know where they're supposed to find $3,000 per employee per month to do that.
We also spoke with Robert Hook, who runs premium apartment holiday rentals in Ettalong, about how tourism is being impacted by the restrictions.
We were contacted by both the local police and the state member, Liesl Tesh, requesting that we cancel all bookings. We didn't have a lot, but the ones that we did have, it was like a stab in the heart to have to call them and ask them not to come. But it was the right thing to do. Well, I'd like to think that once we can all go outdoors, there'll be a mad rush, absolute exodus from the cities, Newcastle and Sydney, looking for somewhere to go that's out of the usual day-to-day environment. So I'm hoping that the Central Coast will be the place. That's the optimistic part of me. I guess less optimistic would be saying that there's a long way to go. There's a lot of damage to our businesses that we have to fix, and it's going to take a bit of time.
And finally, Ross, we caught up with well-known Narara horse trainer Angela Davies, the very proud trainer of Through the Cracks, who won the prestigious $400,000 provincial championship at Randwick over the Easter weekend. And among the owners who shared the winnings were several locals, including a restaurant owner, a baker and a sparky.
Absolutely fantastic. To have won against my peers is just amazing. It's sort of the best horse in the provincial area, and it's also trainers competing against each other within their own area, so it's a real honour to have won it. I don't think Gosford's won a provincial championship yet. This is the first one that they've won. It's gone to Newcastle. think it's gone to Newcastle twice as well. So, yeah, so it's nice to have it here, and we're a very small training area. We only have about 70 or 80 horses in work. So compared to Newcastle, they have about 500 or 600. Wyong has 200 to 300. I think Hawkesbury has 200 or 300. Kembla, yeah, larger, a lot larger training facility, clubs than we are.
Back to you.
And that was David Abrahams, our resident technology cum driftwood expert, doubling up this week as our resident horse racing expert. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, Coast Community News issue 238 was out this morning with all the latest in news and events around the coast. And finally, for something a little quirky, we wanted to introduce you to the Central Coast musicians and sisters Mia, Abby and Jamie Toole, aka Little Quirks. The trio have toured the country and have supported some big names in music, but have more recently joined the Isolade festival scene for their first crack at live stream festival music. See you next week.